All right, hello everybody. We're working here at the house today. Uh, we've got Joe's going to do some arm work. He's going to do some push-ups and replacing any tricep work. Joe's not doing any type of tricep arm work or anything with dumbbells. He's working his triceps and push-ups and military presses and things like that, and that's all we're doing. But he is going to do some bicep work and a little bit of forearm work. This shouldn't be a tremendously long video, but you guys keep in mind we work with a low weight and higher reps. Got a little bit more weight on here than normal, I think. And we're working out here today. We were working out here on Thursdays, but we don't have to now because we got somebody here with Rocky. But yesterday, if you go back and look at our video yesterday, you'll see me being real nice and talkative. And you guys know I'm the Ace Miller of the day. If you don't know who Ace Miller, the boxing trainer, was, he'd talk you to death too. Now, I was fortunate younger in life to get to work around Ace Miller a little bit and proteges of Ace Miller. And he's passed away now, but God bless him. He was a good boxing trainer, managed Big John Tate. So this is the work that Joe will do, and he'll take you through it. We do supersets. So it's grueling, you keep going. You maybe have it 1 to 5 to 10 seconds between a particular motion, then you move on to the next thing. And once you've completed the superset, then you stop. So you see reps go down drastically as he goes along. So this is very grueling. If it may look easy to you, but give it a try. And this doesn't build muscle that depletes oxygen so much. And you don't want muscle, the muscularity, the fibrous muscularity that will zap up your oxygen in boxing or any type of combat sport. But we were at the gym yesterday, and this went on the past 2 times. We got a trainer that's come in, or one of the trainers at the gym that helps people with weight training and things like that. Just a general trainer at the gym. It's 4 or 5 of them down there. And the guy asked me a long time ago, hey, can I come in and train some with you guys? I want to learn a little bit about how y'all do it. Everybody down at the gym is just enthralled with Joe. They're like, oh my God, this kid, because Joe's just 16. He commands the presence of where he's at already at 16, even with these physically huge guys, these bodybuilding guys. They think the world of Joe. And his work input and output. So anyway, are you going to do the push-ups at the end, or are you going to superset them in with what you're doing now? Are you going to do the push-ups in the superset, or are you going to do them at the end?
Yeah.
All right. So he'll have a few sets, some push-ups that he'll do, but he'll do them at the end. He's elected not to put these in this. And normally we don't when he's working the biceps. Normally he'll just work the biceps and do some shoulder work, but we split things up and change things from time to time. But to get back on the gym subject, so this guy came in and just come in for 2 or 3 days. First day he comes in, he sits down, he's just watching, what we do. And the second day he starts talking a little bit, and I'm talking back with him. And then last night he just starts interfering with what we're doing. And Joe will be in the middle of something. He comes in and stops us and, hey, what about this? What if I do this? And these people the learning capacity is awful. And that's why there is what was the IQ here? 79 or 80, 78 to 80, low IQ for the country. And the reason of it is I believe, is due in part, they will not listen. They can't comprehend anything that you tell them. So I told him, you can come work with us, but I didn't tell him he could come stand around and stop us every 5 minutes and ask questions. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to, I took it yesterday, and that's it. It's done. It's not going to happen again. If he wants to go get in the corner and watch, he can go get in the corner and watch. If you hear whining in the background, it's Rocky back here. If he's not the center of attention, he starts crying. And he's got the life of Riley because he can go up to the park every 5 minutes and we're walking. He's getting spoiled. So what?
I was just saying, the guy's asking questions every 5 minutes, and when we're trying to answer those questions, he's talking while we're talking.
Yeah, Joe just said it. I've got the microphone on. I don't know if you heard him in the background, but Joe's saying he's asking questions every 5 minutes, and then when you go to answer him, he's talking while you're giving him the answer, which is typical here all through South America, from Mexico on down. Not so bad in Mexico, not so bad in Panama, but everywhere else it's the same idiotic thing. So then before that, this kid that came in, he was going to train with Joe. He was going to get him a pair of gloves. This has been a month on long process or longer, maybe 6 weeks. And he'll come one day a week. He just calls 10 minutes before we go, y'all gonna be there? And I've told this kid 15 times, make you a schedule, commit to it. It's got to be more than 30 minutes, or don't bring your ass to us. Don't come around us. And you can come around us, but don't get in the way, or you're not going to be included in nothing. You got to get a pair of gloves, and you got to make the schedule. And even if you come 3 days a week, those 3 days you better be there, and you need to be there for an hour to hour and a half. That's minimal training in boxing, folks. If you're going to the boxing gym and you think you're going to get somewhere going for even an hour, hour and a half, 3 times a week, think again. May be good as a teenager or something, get around here and get in some of this Golden Glove mess, or with all my cousins, as a matter of fact, they were at different weight classes, and every one of them were Golden Glove champions in our home state. So, I'm not looking at that like it's, we all were Golden Glove guys. I don't look at that like that's the end all be all. But if that's what you want, it is, see? And that's about all you're going to get if you're playing around with boxing. This is like school football. You practice every day, and if you're not there the 2 hours, then you're off the team, It's not me trying to be hard on anybody. And so went through 20 minutes with this kid when we first get there. What part are you not understanding about don't call me right before the gym. Write a schedule, give me a guarantee, and have you a pair of damn boxing gloves. That's what you need, son. 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, he texts Joe, you going to be at the gym? I told Joe, don't even respond to this idiot. He just can't comprehend. And whether you're 14 like he is, or whether you're 44, they're all the same. They're talking while you're trying to tell them something, and they don't hear or digest a damn thing you say. It's insanity 101. It's the same thing over and over again.
Even a retarded kid will understand. You know,
Yeah, Joe used the R word, and I don't want to use that online, but he's even saying a slow kid or a special kid back home in the U.S. can grasp way more than the average person here, and they can. And, you know, and Joe was telling me earlier, he's like, Daddy, when we get on a roll, it's something like this or something. It's always something. As soon as he gets on the fifth week of a good roll, it's some crap with somebody. So I'm just going to go back to, we got one guy, Milt, and he can train with Joe on the days he can make it there, because he's able to handle a little bit of sparring with Joe, not much. We can't even find sparring partners around here, but there's all these boxing leagues, and Joe's too violent for them, and so they, you know, we can't go there to any of those. So, we may be able to go to Tunja or Bogota and compete some. We got a friend that he was here for a while. He trained with Joe a little bit, and he was like, you know, hey, you need to go there, because there is people that are willing to try to fight at any rate. So it's just very hard here. Everybody knows what they're doing. They got it all figured out, and they're dancing around like, you know, a man who doesn't fight, who gets in a fight on the street with looping swings at you, and then if they get hit, they got to stop.
every time they get popped, you gotta stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, popped in the stomach a little too hard, but that's not it.
Yeah, Joe just hit the nail on the head. Every time they get hit, they got to stop, you know.
And then there's me.
Yeah.
Give the strongest punch they can.
Yeah.
And, you know, when they hit me, although I don't want to stop, because I'm a man,
Mm-hmm.
and I take the good punches, although it's hit like little girls, then they don't want to stop. You know, they hit hard, and they feel like they need to keep on going with it.
Yeah, you ain't going to find that around here, son. And on top of that, the guy's like wanting to box like he studied Taekwondo. And look, folks, I took Taekwondo for almost 2 years, back many, many, many decades ago. And I was boxing at the same time, and it's a different thing. You know, you score a hit when you're competing in Taekwondo, and then they stop it, and it's not fighting. And this is a way different thing. I'm not discouraging anybody from taking a martial art. It's excellent to do so, but as far as fighting goes, it's, you know, the martial arts are what they claim to be, to defend oneself or have a better go at it if attacked out on the street. And boxing is to defend yourself and beat the crap out of the other guy, to just knock the guy cold. And I mean, it is what it is. And people just, they got a hard time digesting that. I had these guys coming up to me. Oh, can you teach me what Steven Seagal does? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That man can't fight. You know, what planet are you from? Oh, I want to kick and hit the bag with my bare shins thousands of times. I toughen your shins are not going to toughen up that way. The things in the movie, the guy hitting the concrete and tearing the concrete post down, or tearing down a plantain tree, that's not real. That's Hollywood, folks. And another news flash for you, I'm not trying to talk bad about your savior, a lot of your saviors out there, Bruce Lee, but that man was not a fighter. He was not. A good guy. Could he fight? Yes, but He was no competitor. He wouldn't have made it in competition, folks. They got, and everybody's like, well, he would have beat Ali up out of his own mouth. He was like, I would never fight nobody. Have you seen the size of this guy's fist? He would kill me. And Ali would have killed him. I mean, there's certain things you got to wrap your head around. Jiu-jitsu now is a different subject. That's to get you down and submit you. And you can break a neck, break an arm, break a leg, break an ankle, a wrist, elbow, pull a shoulder out of the socket quite easily if you know what you're doing. That is fighting. That's why they use it. And you can use Taekwondo and other things in the fight game, like with MMA. But if you haven't noticed, we box, and that's our mode of the fight game. And MMA guys don't typically beat boxers at boxing. No more than boxers go over there and just dominate MMA. It's two different things, but they are both fighting deals. I was telling that kid, and this is what I'm going to start telling people. If you want to show up just when you want to show up, maybe I do just a separate class, and I tell them $300 a month, which is a ridiculous amount of money here, and just fine. You want to come. You don't, but you pay me in advance for a month. I'm old, and it's all I can do to try to help my son in this. I can't work pads or do nothing like that no more. My coordination's gone. I got a lot of physical problems. And it's all I can do. You can ask Joe to even muster the strength up to get 2 blocks down the road where the gym's at, to just walk down there and walk back. So really, society here is just dumb, and society back home in the U.S. is just weak. Now, I'm not trying to be ugly with that, but this, Boxing USA ain't much better than league boxing here, than Columbia boxing. It's just everything's getting weak, and people in the U.S., the Mexicans are really taking over the sport, what little bit we have left in the U.S., Mexico and Puerto Rico, and it's because they're harder than we are. They want to fight. And it used to be the African Americans dominated, and it's because they worked the hardest. They were dealt the hardest hand. They fought the hardest. Now they're about the weakest of the food chain in boxing, would be African American boxers. And compared to what they used to be, all our champions were African Americans. And we just don't have them no more. Deontay Wilder's coming back. He supposedly got his head straight. And I'm like, what in the world? He's making a comeback from his mental illness. And, everybody, it's just weak. Everybody's mentally ill, folks. The whole damn lot of us. The only difference is just like the coward scenario, the coward, the hero. Everybody's mentally ill. It's just the ones that choose not to let it drag them down and use it as an excuse. The only difference between the coward and the hero is the hero makes a split-second decision to come out from up in the foxhole. And the coward just stays in the foxhole. It's easier, see? That's the only difference. The only difference. And now it's mental illness, not coward hero that you'd have to say in boxing today. It's I can't do nothing because I'm mentally ill. It used to be I can't do nothing because I'm a coward. And there's no sense in either of those two scenarios. And there's no difference in them, actually. So when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm mentally ill," you're showing me somebody's going to quit on their feet or not try. As soon as they get hit, as soon as the adversity takes place, they start folding and cutting down. And we love Tank Davis up in here, but I'm so disappointed in that last fight he had. Had to go over there and get his precious little, he's a gangsta street guy, but yet every bit of 5 foot of him had to go over there and get his face wiped. He should have lost that fight on that alone, and should have been disqualified. And there should have been penalties going out. If they'd start penalizing these guys, fining them, then people wouldn't have to pay the ridiculous amount of $30,000, $40,000 in some cases to WBA, WBC, whatever, IBF to be in their ranking system. Because it's all a racket. How many sets you got? 3? You gonna do one more or stop there? All right. And get you some push-ups just for the sake of it.
100, 200.
If you can, it's going to be difficult because of what you've just done. But yeah, it's just a failure going on with people. I don't know if it's the computerized age, gaming, videoing, whatever, but the information going so fast, nobody's attention span's working any longer. You guys don't know. I'm an old man, so I talk slow. Sometimes I have to put my words together, and the people are, "Oh, it's just killing me for you to get your next word out." And before I block these people, and I do block them left and right, I always tell these folks, work on your attention span, because if you can't sit here and handle me talking, why are you even here? Why are you even watching, number one? And number two, if there's something going on here that's worth it for you to watch, be patient. Just be patient. We don't put a whole lot out. I chose to put out more of the sparring that we've done over the past 2 or 3 weeks, but it's been shitty sparring. Joe's wandering around. He can't hit nobody because nobody can take a punch. Has to move slow. You can't get shots off. And sparring should be a flare-up moment, then flare down. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you don't really need to be sparring. But that's how sparring should work. If somebody will try to, hit him with everything they got, he comes out with 20%, going slow as all get out because he can't go quick because he'll knock somebody out. And then he hits them and they, "Oh, no, I got to stop."
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's what you were just saying. Now, in Mills' defense the other day, I had to stop him. Yeah, Joe Pop Milt, who you're going to be seeing more of, he busted his nose, and his nose was real thick blood coming down, real thick. It's unusual. I've seen a lot of bloody noses, and that was just unusual for me to see. And maybe that was normal, but it wasn't to me. And I had to stop. I said, no more sparring. And he was just gung-ho, ready to keep going, But there again, he's learning still, and when you first start, you're moving crazy, and it's hard even for somebody that can that's been doing this for a long time to be in the ring with somebody like that. It's just awkward, and you get to where you can't. You're holding back on them, and then they're crazy fighting, and it's just difficult, isn't it, Joe?
It's hard to punch them like 10% and then they unleash on you all crazy.
Yeah, Joe just said it. And I don't know if you hear him in the background. He said it's hard going 10% or so on them, and then they're trying to fight you, and they're all crazy, swinging at you with everything they got. And it's just real difficult. And at any given time, because in the last sparring Joe did, I just told him, I said, Joe, give a jab, and Joe's bam, and then it's a problem, see, for the other guy. So it's real difficult. See, there's levels at this thing, and we can't find nobody that, other than Philip, that could level up any with Joe, and Joe was having to really hold back on him as well.
He could take a punch, but still,
yeah.
And he weighed 15, 20 pounds more.
Well, he weighed 20 or 25 pounds more than you do. He's a lot taller, and you have a man strength, and you's handling him at will. I ain't taking nothing away from him because that guy could fight. But Joe wants to use his wares. He wants to use what we go over. We go back and we do some basics and things. Some of the things I'll show, a lot of the stuff I don't like showing, you'll never see. You'll never see unless somebody else is filming Joe while it's going on. Or because I just don't choose to show much. And I don't think I ever will. You don't want to show everybody what you're doing. And the key where we're at right now is learning different ways to do different things, where maybe one day you see him and he's fighting one way. Maybe the next time you see him, he's fighting a different style even. And if you start training when you're very young, you can adapt to different things. That was the only way Ali could be beat. People had to adapt and fight differently when they were fighting him. Ali was really great, guys. He was really great. A lot of my life, I ain't gave him the credit that he deserved. Ali was really great. Maybe the best. And guys, they had to change the whole outlook to go after him, and some guys were able to do it and some guys weren't. And that's why we like Eddie Futch so much in here. Eddie Futch came up with the way to beat Ali, and everybody that fought Ali that Eddie Futch was training beat Ali. And that's a big order of business to take on, folks. So, big order of business. But we always got problems here. People don't know how to conduct themselves. You give an inch and they want to start taking 40 miles. They ask you questions. You go to answer the question and they're talking. They say, well, how would you do this? And you say, here's what I would do. And before you get, here's what I would do,
They start talking.
out of your mouth, they're already talking. It's crazy. It's insane.
Getting to a point where you're having to treat them like little dogs.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah. It's like crazy. And this other guy, he come in, he's sitting, and because I was real overly nice with him, respecting the fact that he loves, he's like in all of what we do, and then he's sitting there, won't let us do what we do.
Yeah. Give him one.
Every 5 minutes. Hey, I'm like, get the hell away, F off. You know, you want to jump your merry ass in here and do it with us, get your merry ass in here. But I ain't going to have people sitting around and questioning. I'm just not going to have it no more. And wherever it next is, if it's here in South America or Central America, it'll be the same thing, something different. You know. And you see why, you go down the typical street here in this country, nobody's saying hello to nobody, nobody's smiling at anybody, everybody's just giving each other evil looks well, it's normal to them because they can't give each other any type of nicety or pleasantry because you give a little nicety or pleasantry to somebody, they start interfering with you or wanting or needing or whatever they can get,
Always thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
Out of all these guys I've trained here and worked with here, Joe, here in Colombia, only one stuck it out and only one became a good fighter. Only one.
No.
Out of all these young guys and guys in their 20s. We had a professional soccer player, a guy that, come up to me and said, "Here, look at me." And the damn guy's on ESPN playing professional soccer. And, you're looking and you're like, wow, because you got to give respect to a pro athlete. That guy comes in, he can't handle nothing. He's a very strong guy, very athletic guy. He can't handle nothing, can't come, no commitment.
But he was a professional.
Yeah, who was he playing for? Costa Rica. Yeah, he was playing for the Costa Rica team. And I mean, no shitting, guys. He comes in and showing me on his phone where he's on ESPN Spanish or whatever it is, or Fox Spanish. I forget which one it was, but it was one of these big things. And I'm sitting here watching this guy on TV, and I was like, heck yeah, come on, train with us. Come on, train with us. And they can't do it. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something else too. All this stuff going on with all these protests, which aren't protests, they're just riots disguised by communists that call themselves socialists because it's a nicer word. Everybody's like in shock in the U.S. that these guys throwing rocks and pieces of bricks and concrete, and I'm like, what planet have you been on? That's all these people do. They throw stuff at you and they run because they're not going to fight. And that's what the U.S. has been infiltrated with. And what's happened is it has it just literally changed the landscape in boxing and different sports in the U.S., even football. Complexions change. Somebody gets a scratch on them, they're all tore up and can't go no further, and all these, I got hit. I got that wind knocked out of me. The first time I had the wind knocked out of me, I'm even going to give you the guy's name. This cat's name was Roy Walford. His daddy was a very good amateur boxer, and I believe he was Golden Gloves in North Carolina back in the damn 40s or 50s. And I really loved his daddy a whole lot. And so this kid was probably outweighed me by 70 pounds. And his brother had went off to the service and was in the Air Force. And so he had boxing gloves at the house. I said, hey, let's buy the gloves. And hey, I've told this story several times. I go out in the yard with him, and the first punch he gives to me, he literally knocks the wind out of me, and I'm on the ground, wailing around, can't, and this is what it really means to get the wind knocked out of you. You can't breathe in. So you are gasping, but your lungs are deflated, and you cannot breathe in. It's a hell of a damn feeling. And it's not good. But right then I was like, hey, oh no, I'll never do this. I'll never do this. And I was just a kid. Maybe I was about this tall, I was a little kid. And maybe he was almost as big as I am right now. He's a big boy. And he's a big, big man now. And Roy hit me in my stomach, and I went down and went through all that hell. I was like, no, I ain't doing this again. I don't know how old I was, well preteen. And he was probably 14, 15, something like that. But a big 14 or 15-year-old. And he was damn near as big as Joe was when Joe was 14 or 15. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. Oh. And we moved on, and I finally got around some men who took an interest in me and started to learn how to fight and box. And for 2 years there as a young guy, I would literally be dropped off to do taekwondo and catch a little bus over to the boxing gym and be there for another hour or so. And then somebody'd come pick me up. And so, you got stages in life too. That, one moment you're the guy in the foxhole that won't come out. And we've all been there. Everybody's been there. But once I got a little older, and I was smaller, and it did good. And I was fighting 125, 130, and back then. And I realized, hey, and I got told, hey, you're real fast. You can use this to your advantage. Let's build something around this. And I didn't get hit. I was the guy that was doing the hitting. And eventually I got my ass tore up. But for a good long stretch there, I'd go in and I'd come out, wouldn't even get hit. And it was because some people took an interest in me. And see, that's what I try to do, but it's just, you can't find nobody today because I try to take interest in everybody. And you're lucky if 1 in 100 is going to turn out to, they're going to listen to you and they're going to do and go with you, go along with the program. And but me and Joe, we're very special around here. Yesterday at 3:15, excuse me, in the afternoon, exactly to the day 48 years ago, back from yesterday, my daddy died. And me and Joe spent a long time talking about Grandpa, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Joe enjoyed it. And Joe felt my pain. And Joe had my pain. And Joe was carrying my pain with me over that. And to hear your son telling you that, hey, I'd rather be hanging around with you, Dad. Because I told Joe, I said, I don't have no problems with you like a typical parent, mother or father, would have with a kid, especially a 16-year-old. I have zero. And Joe was like, it's going to continue to be that way because I'd rather hang around with you, Dad. And that was an honor. And I thought to myself yet again, I've damn messed up every aspect of my life, all of it. But when it comes to my son, I haven't messed up. I haven't. I've put my heart and my being and all of myself into my boy, my son. And that's a beautiful thing. And then I turn around and I see a video, and it right then last night, and the heading on it, and it's from a Christian from Great Britain, and he had up on there, God makes up for the time you've wasted. If you're old, if you're older, and you feel like you've wasted so much of life and done nothing's been productive, God will give you that time back in different ways. And he gave it to me with my son. And when Joe was born, it was like getting my daddy back. And it's hard for people to wrap around their heads. And that's why we're different around here. We are different. I don't think there's another boy and dad out there, young man and dad out there that are exactly like me and Joe. I'm sure they're there, but I haven't seen it. So I tried to reach out to give a little bit of what I can give to Joe in time to other young fellas, and they just, the whole time we've been in Colombia, only one. In the USA, maybe a dozen. And so got this camera's not really on him, but how many you got?
150.
You gonna stop there or you gonna go to 200?
I can go up to 200.
All right, he's gonna go to 200, so I'm gonna put this down a little. Well, when he goes over there, I'm gonna put it down. This is the easy day. The easy day. We got into a little bit of, well, kind of a lot of footwork yesterday. I didn't video much of it, but Joe's doing some bag work, and we're just going back to the basics, keeping the rear heel off the ground a little bit and turning when you punch and getting the force into it when you punch. And I don't, some of these guys say, you've got to turn that heel, and, everybody's got to turn the heel the same way. And I don't do that that's bullshit. And I don't do it. You got to find out what a fella's comfortable with. And as long as it ain't going to be a huge detriment to him, you fit what you're doing to the person. Because everybody's different. I couldn't hold a candle to so many training people out here. But then there's so many more of them that I'm leagues beyond because they can't understand the concept of it all or the psychology of it even. Kid comes up to me, I want to learn to fight. I'm like, so you enjoy beating people up, do you? No. And I'm like, then you don't need to learn to fight. You don't want to whoop up on somebody. This is not the area for you. Down there at the dojo, there's plenty of stuff for you to do. You can hit and make light contact and get points or whatever they're doing nowadays. Kind of like Boxing USA is. They don't fight.
There are a bunch of girls there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look around. This is why I took such an interest in Zeke Castro. Zeke Castro, for those of you that don't know Zeke Castro, he gets in a ring. This guy fights from 125 up to 135, even sticking at 125. He'll take on somebody in a second that weighs 10, 15 more pounds than him. And he goes in there to KO the other guy, to whoop up on the other guy. And that psychology part of it that he grasps perfectly, that we hope we grasp around here, is the technique and the technical stuff and the minor chess part that goes into boxing. There's nothing major about boxing. They just try to fool everybody and try to make people think that, you know, oh, you got to play 3D. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just got to be supremely well at what you do. And this kid has improved on his game. Zeke Castro has just really, he's shooting up, like Trump says, a rocket ship. And it's because he's when he gets in there, he wants to win. He wants to, the objective is to KO the other guy. You know, and if that kid weighed 50 more pounds, everybody that ever would get in the ring with him would be knocked out. Don't you think, Joe? You know, it's a little more difficult at these lower weights to go in and not start knocking everybody into smithereens, but this kid's a fighter. He's a hope. He's a gleam of light for boxing in the United States. And this damn guy ain't going to get punched in the face and quit, take a knee. He's not going to be looking over there. Well, the ones that have daddies aren't looking over to the corner for dad to wipe their face. They're the ones that don't have daddies, see. They're running over there to the corner to get their face wiped and to get a massage in the middle of a fight. And see, this is our toughest of the street hood fighters we got. Which ain't saying much. And the difference is over there in England, that these guys are fighting. They are fighting. They deserve to own boxing, and they do own boxing. And they got 45 or 48 million people over there. We got 365 million, some say more, in the U.S., and we can't compete with a nation that's got 45 million plus or minus. And they're stronger than we are. I'm not going to throw candy on it. We don't give lollipops out around here, folks. Rocky, you're going to have to move. How many you got?
175.
When you get to 2, we're going to stop. And Joe's got 9-week exams. Well, mid-year exams, as a matter of factly, next week. So we're going to have to take a few days off. From this, because he's at schoolwork, we're on it just like we are here. So you get anything other than an A on a test around here, and it's unusual. Just trying to succeed at everything he does, and I'm so proud. that he has developed that.
Okay, that's 200.
All right, we got 200 of these, so easy day, easy work. Not doing bag work, although I put a bag work. Just see it. This is all we're doing today. And if you think, now normally this would be with an hour of bag work, shadow boxing, jump rope, a lot of other things, a lot of other things, and running. So if you're looking to thinking you're going to get anywhere in this and you're going to be anywhere, I don't know where Joe's going to settle. Right now, I could run him as a light heavyweight up to a cruiserweight in the professional ranks and be totally comfortable with it if he were older and some more experience. But if you ain't going to work hard like this is easy day, easy. And although there's work required in it, and if you can't step up and do this, and this ain't an easy day for you, what you think's going to happen to you if you run up on somebody like him that's working like he is in the ring? It ain't going to work out well for you, no matter the natural gifts you think you got. So work hard out there. We love you guys. You had my old man rant here. I want to tell you, though, I get rough for reasons, and Christ is Lord, King, and Savior up in here. We hope he is up in where you are. And if he's not, we unapologetically hope that he will be. And much love to you guys. Much love.